Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Yo. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, back from his Red Wings fantasy camp shenanigans. T-Foss, Terry Foster, he brought the appropriate hat for today's show. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, we're not dicking around today.
I was going to say, what's wrong with you today?
There will be no talk about the weekend or candy corn or items to the checkout line or any of that stuff. No, we're talking Detroit Lions and what happened yesterday, 48-45, Seattle with the win. And, hey, everyone tap into the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Detroit Dabber 313, what up, though? Good morning, people. Robert Closia says, welcome to Overreaction Monday. No, there are no, we're at the quarter pole now. Let's just get this out there right now.
It is Overreaction Monday.
No, it's not.
Always Overreaction Monday. Yes, it is.
No, we're a quarter of the way in. Jan says, morning, all sorry, Neal, Michigan mess up your get-right pick. No, it did not. We had Michigan. It was yet another get-right pick special. That one, we're 22-8. We're not here to talk about that. It was week 5 of Michigan's preseason. Michigan State lost again. None of that. We're going wall-to-wall Lions today. And here's and before we get to D-Mac and T-Foss, here's the 3 non-negotiables today, everybody. The 3 non-negotiables. Number 1, there will be no Brad Holmes slander, as opposed to what I heard on the Woodward Sports postgame show. There will be none, because I got reasons. You'll tell me what you think. I'll talk about what we know. That's number 1. Number 2, it's fair. It's fair to have some questions of people that you might not like to have the questions about. It's fair. We will discuss that as well. And number 3, there will be no talk of, well, they'll go to New England and Bailey Zappe's a quarterback and they'll win there and then they'll be 2-3 and they'll be back. No, you don't get that right anymore. You don't get that right to say that a coach who's never won on the road during his time as coach in the NFL, who has never won on the road. You don't just get to assume that they're going to go to New England and beat Bailey Zappe and the Patriots on the road. Bailey Zappe had the lead in the fourth quarter at Lambeau yesterday. When's the last time your team had the lead in Lambeau in the fourth quarter? So with all that being said, D-Mac, those are the 3 non-negotiables. You want to trigger me? Hey, and I'll be honest, you want to trigger me? You say that stuff in here on a WoodwardSports.com chat thread, and you'll trigger me. D-Mac,
Brad Holmes sucks. There.
What about people in the chat thread saying about the defensive people that Holmes has drafted or stuff like that? The one thing yesterday, obviously, as disappointing as it is, where do you want to start? You want to start on defense, the lack of pressures, the lack of, letting Geno Smith come in here and put 48 up on you. Or do you want to talk about the positives and, the offense and getting something done with nobody? So where this team's at, you nailed it. We talk about this every week, and I don't know why people don't listen, but the best thing for this team to do right now, roll those tanks in. Right? Roll those tanks in.
Because it's 1-3. It's over.
Well, it's 1-3, and let's look at what we're building now. I mean, there's stuff there and you can go back and say, well, you didn't have this, and you didn't have, no. There's a blatant inefficiency to the defensive system that we play. And it's also decision making, because here's the frustrating thing, Neal. It's just like when I always come, can we get a linebacker to cover Aaron Jones running on the outside? What did they do yesterday? The same 3 things every time that we did not adjust to. That's the frustrating part. Then you watch a Kansas City and Tampa Bay game, 2 of the best teams, where the offenses and defense, and you see the chess game being played by both the better coaches. You just know that you're not there yet. So, what do, Neal? I'm going to go to the clock.
Okay,
and that's cool. Let's roll the tanks in. Let's go to the clock, and I'm going to wait. I have to now for sanity, right? And then you can go through injuries and all that stuff. So, the best thing is, if I'm looking at the positive, is Ben Johnson and Jack Fox, man, he's always awesome, right? I mean, he just always comes through. But that's pretty sad when you're punter is one of your most valuable guys.
And T-Foss, let me get to this real quick, and I'll give you the stage.
Right.
Chuck Brewer on our WoodwardSports.com chat thread, who put the defensive talent on the team, Neal Brad Holmes. If he gets credit, then he gets negative stuff too. Okay, here we go then. Then you guys have to come clean. You have to come clean. This big celebration we had when Aiden Hutchinson got drafted, and hey, part of it's on me too. I'm a big Charles Harris guy. They've been non-existent for 14 of 16 quarters played this year. 14 of 16 quarters. So everyone then you guys were wrong too. All right? So if you want to talk about it from that perspective, then talk about it from that perspective. Because the ends and the edge rushers are the quarterback of the defense. They have to get home. They have to make plays, especially with your linebacking core and all that. They have to. And that 2 quarters that they did make plays, what happened? They took over a football game. But for 14 of 16 quarters, they were non-existent. So you guys can't have that both ways. You can't. Not today. That's a non-negotiable, Terry Foster.
I need you to calm down, young man.
I got it. I got 2 hours of it, my friend.
I'm not going to let these clowns ruin my week or day.
It's not ruining my week.
Well,
It's time to sober up out here, Terry. It's time for everybody to sober up a little bit. Like I know that we had the Hard Knocks hangover and stuff like that. It's time to sober up a little bit and start calling things what they are.
All right, I want to go back to my dealings with defensive coordinators from the Lions from the last 30 years. They all came in and said, we want to be more aggressive. We want an aggressive defense. And then they back down from it because they're like, okay, we don't have the personnel to do this. What Aaron Glenn did is he was aggressive in the most inopportune times. And Seattle saw that he wanted to blitz. They saw he was taking safeties out of position, and they just said, okay, we're going to run the ball that way or throw the ball that way. So they got outmaneuvered by Seattle's offense.
They got outcoached hard time, big time. It goes to show you, whatever you want to say about Pete Carroll or even Seattle and stuff like this, but different level of coaching. This is some of the coaching decisions that are being made, and Terry nailed it. We could all see that, different time. Now, there's something to be an aggressive, but you got to be controlled aggressive.
Right, and Seattle's like, oh, this is what you're doing?
Right.
We see this, and we're going to counter it. And the little bootleg that Geno Smith was running, it worked 100% of the time.
Say that name again. Say that name again. And then let it sink in. He just threw 48 up and looked as most comfortable as anybody else did. We're not naming. What is Geno Smith? 25th quarterback in the league?
Yeah, he's behind Jared Goff.
But, oh, my gosh, does that not show execution? So, I mean, talent, whatever like this. But, Terry, I think you absolutely nailed it. So there's another form of being out-coached. Oh, this is what they're doing, and it's apparent that much. So everything that everyone is saying, but it's the accountability to where we're at. So now what are we going to do moving forward, and what's best for this team? What decisions do we make?
Here's one other thing. In sports, in pro sports especially, nothing works 100% of the time because you have people trying to stop you from doing what you want to do.
And they drive Mercedes too, Terry.
They drive Mercedes too. But yesterday, whatever Seattle did worked 100% of the time.
But they did the same things. Isn't that the frustrating thing? It's not like they threw a curveball here and then they went curveball, sinker, fastball. You had you off balance. They went fastball, curveball, every count, and did the same things over again. I think we've seen this in the past, and for me, that's what's so frustrating.
We have a saying here. I know we have a saying in this town, and I know people hate to hear it. SOL, same old lines. But you know what yesterday was? SOS. Because Seattle was like, we don't have to change anything. We're just going to keep running this. You stop us. And they never did. The punter, you know where the punter was yesterday?
They didn't punt, did they?
No, he was hanging out downtown, window shopping. He went to Buffalo Wild Wings and got some wings.
What's that say, Terry? Did anybody else just get hit right in the face with that Seattle did not punt once?
They didn't punt.
See, that's Seattle. Right?
Yeah, it's not even good offense.
See, but that's it. When do we get to play from ahead? Because Seattle came in and won the road game, and they're 2-2. And guess what? If the 49ers win today, they're tied for first place in their division. Now, are they going to win their division? No, but we're at the quarter pole now. We are. And they won a road game. The Jets won another road game in Pittsburgh. They were down 10 points in the fourth quarter. Second road game in a row. Atlanta won. When do we get to play from ahead, Terry?
When you're good.
But those teams aren't good. Well, they're not good.
But,
and all this talk that we had too about, with the Okuda and the DK Metcalf was saying that Metcalf's not even their number one receiver. No, he looked like a one receiver yesterday.
That was a man among boys.
And I'll say this too. At least Okuda made a play once. You know what I'm saying? At least he made a play once. When do we get to play from ahead? Terry, the Giants are 3-1.
I hear you, bro. But, I mean, once again, this is a historically bad franchise. Now, we think they have the winning places in place. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe Brad Holmes and maybe Dan Campbell, maybe they're not the answer. Maybe we've been fooled again. Because I remember when we were doing shows and just talking in everyday life, people were telling us, are they going to be 3-1 or 2-2? Those are the only options. And
you know what's sad? What's sad, right? Because there is something that we have out of this. Like, we got Ben Johnson. Can we all agree that, okay, there's something there with this guy as far as the offensive scheme, especially putting that many points on the board, and okay, it's Seattle, but with the lineup that he had, right? So things have changed. It's like the same old lines differently. It's just that when they make the same mistakes over and over and over again, it's just so apparent that it's on the one side of the ball right now. We not all agree, and it's not like they played perfect on offense. I know.
But they had to be perfect to win. That's the sad thing.
Yeah, they can't afford Goff to throw an interception at all, and especially for it to be for the other team to have points on the board. You just can't put yourself in that spot. But to their credit, they are putting points on the board, so we're not getting dropped. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, Neal? It's not like we're just getting obliterated on both sides of the ball.
Here's the other thing I want to address too. I've seen a lot of this in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. 313 locked, and this isn't 313. This isn't like an attack on you or anything like that. You brought it to the forefront. You're the one that I happen to see here, so this is what we say. Didn't everyone say this was a must-win? Yes, we did. You know why? Because it's over now. It's over. And you again, that's one of the non-negotiables today. You can't tell me about how you're going to go to New England and win. Based on what? Your coach that's never won a road game? Based on going against a rookie quarterback that had the lead in Lambeau in the fourth quarter? When have you ever had the lead in Lambeau in the fourth quarter? Like, come on, man. It is over. You're 1-3. Yeah, shut it down. Absolutely. That is right. But no, that's what it was, a must-win, because you know what else, guys, as it sits right now, and we are at the quarter pole of the season, as we're talking about, you have the 4th pick in the draft. That's what it is. Don't tell me about thoughts or what things could be. This is the NFL, where the Giants are 3-1. You're not. You're 1-3. That's what it is. That's the reality. And the feel-good stuff and all that stuff, that's a wrap for this season. And yes, we still have the clock. And the reason I'm fired up, 21-34, absolutely right. And that's another reason why I'm not having the Brad Holmes slander. I'm not. Because he's proven that he can pick guys later in the draft. And oh, by the way, I know you guys don't think about this. Like the kicker situation, they have $3 million in cap space right now. Other guys are going to get hurt. You're going to have to sign someone. So yeah, you have to go with the cheap option at the kicker. That's the way that it works. Why is there only that much cap space left? Because you are paying almost $19 million to Trey Flowers and Jamie Collins. And in 2024, you have about $80 million in cap space. That's why Brad Holmes, this is a Brad Holmes slander-free. We're not having that discussion today. We're not doing it. Because there are results, there's tangible evidence that suggests the other is the case. And Brad Holmes right now is fine. Defensive ends, the quarterbacks of the defense that got to make plays, they have not been fine. They've been non-existent for 14 out of 16 quarters. That's a factual statement. And if that ruffles your feathers because you're a Michigan fan or whatever, then I don't know what to tell you. This is the NFL. That Michigan stuff's over. And Charles Harris, who I'm a big fan of, big believer in, the same applies to him. Not good enough. And I got nothing else. Like, that's it, guys. I don't know what else to say about it. I really don't. And it's not like it's not an anger thing or anything like that. This is where we are. My frustration is seeing the Jets win 2 road games where they're down 10 points in the fourth quarter, or the Giants being 3-1, or the Falcons winning games. That's my When do we get to play from ahead?
All right, Neal, I know you're saying you're not angry, but I don't know if you notice this. Your little Nike hat is now on fire now, so you better take it off and put it out.
Well, hey, no, I'm cool, and I'm not sweating because I got my workout in already this morning at Planet Fitness, and we are live at the Planet Fitness studios here at Woodward Sports. It's home of the judgment-free zone. You can work out in a non-intimidating, anger-free atmosphere for just $10 a month with access to your home club. You get the unlimited guest privileges, the hydro massage, with the Black Card membership, $24.99 a month, less than $1 a day. You can go to over 2,000 Planet Fitnesses around the country. I'll be down in Florida in a couple days. You're working out there in Planet Fitness as well. And you can too. If you want to join, pull up on your local Planet Fitness. You'll pass a couple on the way home, or on your computer, go to planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
At Alta Uptime Matters, Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. It's fall. You have a bog project coming up. Alta Ret has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty, here Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. It's intense. Here in the post-mortem, I guess you would say, Lions fall to Seahawks 48-45. Seahawks don't even know if they traveled a punter. We can't confirm it.
They didn't. They just kept him at home.
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I'll never know. Never saw him out there on the field.
No, he stayed at the Seattle market, was throwing fish at the little Seattle market.
Pike's Place?
Yeah, Pike's Place. He was throwing salmon all over the place.
It is pretty cool how they do that there.
I love it. Have you brought salmon back?
No, I didn't bring any back, no.
I've done that before.
Have you?
It was great.
It was delicious. Anyway, we're not talking salmon, Darren McCarty. We're talking Detroit Lions. Joseph, son of Israel, says, I hold Brad Holmes responsible to get the secondary positions needed filled now. I'm happy with my GM. Am I not doing an effective job of explaining this to everybody right now? Look at the personnel on defense that you have. You have $25.5 million in dead cap space. Almost 19 of it is Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers. He can't go get anybody. He can't. Help me. Somebody here help me. Terry, Darren, Sam Flannel, anybody. Somebody help me explain this better. Like, even the kicker thing. We need Rodrigo Blankenship. There's $3 million in cap space left. Wait. What are you going to do?
Okay.
Help me.
Slow
Somebody
down,
help
big
me.
Fella. Look.
Terry, what am I doing wrong?
You're doing everything right, but, some people just have hard heads. And you got to hit them over the head with a hammer. People, whoever's blaming exclusively Brad Holmes for this either didn't watch the game yesterday or they're still pissed off because the Lions could have signed some free agents, but they would have been third and fourth string guys. They could not sign a starting corner or a starting safety that would have made a difference in any of these games. First of all, this is not a free agent destination. Second, they didn't have the money. Just had a little bit.
And why don't they have the money?
Because Jamie Collins and
Trey Flowers.
they got money tied up in these dudes.
Philippines on Demand says, calm the F down, Neal. We're not idiots. We get it. Stop acting like we are beneath you.
So let's play the devil's advocate, right? So this was next year, right? Because the money is off the books. How you would be holding Brad Holmes accountable, right? Without the salary cap, right? Where you don't have the money on the books. And if this was next year where he had maneuverability and he didn't go and improve the thing, then you would be critical of him, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if he had the money there, if the money's in the bag, like Steve Eiserman
But he would have signed people, yeah.
Right.
Just like Steve Eiserman had all that cap space. What'd he do? Rework the whole team.
Right, and had to get there. That's part of what the clock
That's
is.
plan.
That's part of what the clock is. That's part of everything else putting this together. It just sort of takes time. The question is it the right guys for the job? Now,
Right.
I believe Brad Holmes is the right guy for the job, and Ben Johnson is the right guy for the job. Right? Everything else is up. And Deuce Staley, pretty good running backs coach. So there, different things like that, but everything else is questionable.
Right. Let me
A lot of it's
challenge
coaching.
people to really watch football. Yesterday, you could have Richard Sherman, Aqib Talib, anybody back there.
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. But if you have the wrong scheme, which they got caught in time after time after time, guess what? You're going to give up yards. At the very worst, or the very best, if you had some great corners and great safeties, maybe instead of it being a 35-yard touchdown, it would be a 34-yard run to the 1-yard line, and they were still going to score.
Devin Folkrod, our WoodwardSports.com chat thread. How can we be happy with Brad Holmes? Because, he's like drafted players that start.
It's a building process. It's a
Number one. Number two, in 2024, you have $80 million in cap space. That's how. There's a plan. There's something going on. That's how.
He's not.
Guys, look, I'm going to get to you one by one. Every single person that goes in there, I'll break it down for you. I don't care. I got time. I got till 1.
See, Dan Campbell's on the hot seat.
Is it okay? And that's where I wanted to go.
Right.
But he's not. He's not on the hot seat.
But he's not.
But he's not.
You are both right.
Yes, he is and he's not. But he's on the hot seat to Brad Holmes, right? Brad Holmes is the one who's got to decide because you got to remember it's not his guy.
I'm not convinced of that, bro.
Because of the contract.
Because Dan Campbell was hired. I don't think Brad Holmes is the guy to make that decision. If Chris Spielman and Sheila Hamp and all those say he's gone, then he's probably gone. If they say he's staying, he's staying. Well, I'm not convinced Brad Holmes has to say.
Aaron Glenn's gone before, right? Can we agree that out of anything, they're going to last out every last option with Dan Campbell, right? So it'd be more of a coaching mixing around.
The worst defense in the National Football League, and you know how many teams are there? 32. The Lions' defense is ranked 50th. If that's the case, that's how bad it's been. You can't fire all the players. So to me, the defensive coordinator would be the first to go.
Go ahead.
The other thing with Brad Holmes is you guys don't understand, and because Lion fans ignored the fact that this is one of the worst franchises in history. Brad Holmes is overcoming Matt Millen. He's overcoming Quintricia. He's overcoming Martin Mayhew. The Lions have had 20-something years of bad football. And whenever I make fun of the Lions, here's what I hear. Oh, T, you can't stop. You can't talk about them. They're in a rebuild. Do you know when this rebuild started? 1999. Seriously. Because that's when they kicked the field goal.
Paul Edinger.
Paul Edinger kicked the field goal. And then the Lions started rebuilding. And guess what? They brought in different people, but they still been rebuilding This is 2022. Is that correct?
It is.
Does it take 23 years to be rebuilt?
2+ decades.
Two decades. And you know what my favorite shirt is? Rebuilding since 1957. Now, that's not exactly true because they did have the 90s and they had Barry Sanders. And they had a few playoff teams here and there. But really, this team or this franchise, the current rebuild has been gone since 1999. So,
one funky Lions fan. He's done a great job drafting. Those defensive studs are amazing. Glad he spent most of his picks on that side of the ball. So okay, guys, then we can't have it both ways. So then Hutchinson's a bust then, right? See, I got you guys, Sam Flannel. Today I got you guys. All the Michigan loyalists and stuff like that give me a hard time about Hutchinson and all that. I got you guys today, Sam Flannel. Which is it? Tell me.
I mean, he's been a no-show.
Can't hear you, Sam Flannel. Which is it? Tell me.
He's been a no-show in 14 out of the 16 halves so far. In that one half, he was great. But you might think if Aiden Hutchinson or Charles Harris, for that matter, makes one play yesterday, maybe one play each of them, they win that game. I truly believe that.
And that is it. That's how fine the line is. Terry, you say this all the time. It's a league of games where 5 plays dictate everything.
Or 6.
Or 6,
right.
Possibly. Big plays change the face of games.
And here's where this city is in. We are relying on or hoping rookies lead our team. The Tigers, Torkelson, Riley Green, they're rookies. They're not going to bat 300. They're not going to hit 40 home runs. They're rookies. Aiden Hutchinson. I think Aiden Hutchinson is going to be fine. Aiden Hutchinson is actually doing some really good things now, but he's learning the game. He's taking himself out of the plays. But he will learn that, you know what, less is more in the National Football League. So he's a rookie. He's going to have to learn. So you can't rely on rookies except for real rare occasions, to lead your team to victory.
So Terry, that's a great point. Because you look around all the teams. You look at the Pistons and Cunningham and Ivy. You look at the Red Wings and Sider, Raymond. Now you're looking, you're hearing Soderblom and Edvidson and stuff like this. So if we sit back, you got to allow, you also
Riley Green and Torque.
Well, yeah, that's what Terry said.
Yeah.
I thought I said it.
Yeah, you did. And then the fact, but so maybe we should just take a deep breath and sit back and realize what we have instead of, what we don't. I think we always get caught up, Terry, with wanting it quicker than it has been. But when you look around, I look and see, and we've talked about this, that Brad Holmes is doing what Steve Eiserman. You got to get the books right. There's two jobs. There's 2 jobs, the books and whatever like that. And I think the more so to next year's draft, the free agency and stuff, when you have money to play with, is more when we focus on Holmes. Right now,
but even next year, even next it sits right now, there's $17 million in cap space for next year's lean too.
So it's lean. To keep explaining the narrative until it's not, right? Because you're on Holmes and you've always been, because this is your bag, the draft capital and whatever like this. Terry says hard-headed. I look at this like this is the sabermetrics of baseball and the analytics of all the sports at a different level, that we never watched sports where we had to worry about all this stuff that really matters behind the scenes. Because if you truly, as a sports fan, don't take that part in, then you don't get the whole picture. You can still like what you like or cheer what you cheer, but you don't get the whole argument, and that, to me, doesn't give you the full information. Knowledge is power, and that's part of the knowledge.
Right. In our WoodwardSports.com chat thread, real quickly, go blue. Jesus, here we go. Just finding a way to display that Michigan hate again.
The only thing
People don't like true.
when you mentioned Aiden Hutchinson, you didn't have to mention Michigan.
Yeah.
I didn't.
He's a lion.
Well, actually, you did.
Yeah.
Well, how?
You said
This is not a Michigan thing.
Right.
All you had to do was say Aiden Hutchinson isn't doing his thing. Period.
But it's not it's an NFL thing.
They just
I
don't
know,
like
but you didn't have to say.
It's the tone when you throw in Michigan. Right. So you're. Yeah.
He's not at Michigan anymore. He's playing for the Lions.
Dude, don't say that.
Yes.
But you said it. Don't look at me like
Don't
that.
bring up.
He doesn't play for Michigan anymore.
I know, but when you said Aiden Hutchinson is not playing well, You should have just left it at that. But what you did, and that's what triggers this, is
I got
No,
you.
but these are the same
Michigan
people that
thing.
are telling me, well, Holmes spent all these picks on defensive players. Where's the results? But all I'm told is how great he was.
No, but you're not arguing. Terry's saying that when you mention Aiden Hutchinson, don't mention Michigan, and then you'll be fine.
right. You would have been fine.
It doesn't mean context. It's just saying it in the same sentence. You get them going.
Sam,
I'm following you, Terry, because I see it too.
All right. Let's recalibrate.
He's so fired up he doesn't
Sam
realize
Flannel,
what's going on.
please save this. Please save us.
All right, let's talk about Swiss insurance while we have a chance. Time to talk about Swiss, not Hammond Swiss Insurance Group. Did you know that 1 in 6 kids will develop a medical condition that makes them uninsurable? Swiss Insurance can save you money on your auto and home, resulting in no out-of-pocket costs to insure your children. Check with Mark at Swiss Insurance and make sure your family is protected.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty here, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. All of you, appreciate all your thoughts and everybody interacting with the show. Our social media handles are on the screen, tweets, whatever you guys want to do. Get your thoughts out there. We'll do it. Man Guy Frembro, Neal's playing the dumb victim right now, LMAO. No, I don't understand it. Cornelius T. I haven't seen you in here before, Cornelius. Appreciate you tapping in. He's so butthurt. Nope, I don't know about all that. Go Blue. Damn it, Neal. You know what you're doing. Hate. Clomp sauce. Leave Saturday out of it, Neal. Well, no, I didn't pick Michigan in my get right. Remember, we went over this. It was a pick against Iowa. They just
That's
so happened
correct.
to be playing Michigan.
And who told you Michigan wasn't going to score 30 points?
Right, but they didn't need to. They just needed to get in the 20s, and they were going to cover.
That they would score 28 points.
Yeah.
I was off by 1 point.
I said there's no way Iowa gets past 10 points. And I love the narrative, right? Like people say, well, they're a great defensive team. Iowa's where top 5 teams go to die. Not this Iowa offense with this Iowa defense. Those things weren't the same. But anyway, get right 22-8. By the way, check it out. It's Neal and Michigan. Now, why are you guys like jumping in on this? Yeah, stirring the pot. Like, come on, guys.
Hey, everybody stop. We're going to lose Neal. He's going to walk off the show. And he may not come back.
This is the ultimate test of my professionalism here today. But you know what, Terry? I can take it.
Okay.
I got broad shoulders.
Don't walk off.
I can
we need
take
you,
it.
bro.
People are saying I'm like a child, stuff like that. I don't know about all that. But anyway, we got to have this Aaron Glenn discussion, right?
No,
we do.
Obviously, we've had.
We wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't, right?
No, I mean, it's apparent. I mean, it's absolutely apparent. And I think Terry nails it. It's the schemes. You know, a lot of the times we always talk about coaches putting your players in the best position. What did we see yesterday, Terry? Put your players in the worst position. And yesterday it was like when you're watching a baseball game and you watch the best hitters in the world and they think that they're sitting on that fastball inside, every pitch or the curveball outside or every pitch that they thought was coming, they were sitting on, and boom, Aaron Judge and hitting a home runs with it and stuff like this. The most disparaging fact, right, is the fact that it was done by Geno Smith, to me. right? Where if you were going to show something against, now, Geno Smith, to his credit, I mean, he's like 77% for the first 4 games of completion percentage. So that has to go with putting him in the right position. But really, you're just going to allow him to control the game, not get pressure on him and stuff like this. And the most disparaging thing, right, is not only not putting your guys in the right position, it's the other team consistently doing the same thing over and over again to you, and you not adjusting to it, right? Getting beat differently. It'd be a lot easier that if they beat me wide and then I cover wide and then they beat me inside and then I adjust to that and then it's back and forth. Somebody said it in the Woodward Sports chat, which please join us, woodwardsports.com, where chat is that teams are playing chess. We just play tic-tac-toe.
Right. And a lot of these times it was 3rd and 16 or 3rd and 10 or something. I would take my chances with a base coverage, and if they get 8 yards, well, so be it.
Isn't that what most other teams do, Terry?
That's what they usually do. But my man, yesterday, and I joked all this season the Lions should play a 7-0-4 defense.
You saw it.
Yesterday, they played an 11-0-0 defense.
That looked like me playing Madden. Lining up my goal line defense in the middle of the field because the guy's gonna make a play, and then the thing is that they gash it, right, with the run and play. That was chess and tic-tac-toe right there to watch Penny run right through the line and not even have make a move in the backfield, but you got one guy who's standing still that could maybe slow him down or make a play. That's the big disparaging thing, is when whatever you do and you put these teams in long, and we've seen in the first 4 weeks of the season, putting teams in long distance positions, 3rd and 10s and 3rd and 12s and 15s, and not being able to get off the field. That's where the problem is.
And I don't disagree with that. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Soft Jones. It's interesting having an out-of-towner host a local sports show. Are they talking about you, D-Mac? Because you're from Canada, maybe? I don't know.
I'm not a host, so.
I don't know. T-Foss, you're from here. I'm from here.
I guess I'm from Kansas City or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, they just think you're from Arizona State.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's a shot at me. You guys know my story, man. My parents worked in the car factories. I'm as Detroit as it gets, T-Foss. Born and raised.
One of us is an out-of-towner.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah.
Or you are.
But I'm
Detroit's but you are.
But I'm Detroit's favorite stepson.
Yeah,
so I'm actually it's home.
Right.
So.
Yeah, he's an icon in Detroit.
Right.
So he's Detroit, right?
Absolutely. So I'm just trying to figure out who that is.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, no, I think people, when they get upset, they accuse you being from somewhere else. Don't ignore that.
Gotcha. Let me see. Lane Hartman says Aaron Glenn's the only discussion that we should be having today. Steven Syrett says dude isn't making adjustments at all. And I'll welcome in our own Spencer Raxter, Spenmo Rax.
Yes.
I caught you on the Woodward Sports postgame show yesterday.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble.
I was pretty sauced.
You were illicit.
Yeah.
You were steadfast in your convictions.
I was.
You were committed to your thought process.
I was.
Elaborate, please.
It's tough for me to accept that. That this is still happening. That this is year 2. This is still happening. That this defense. You can't say this defense didn't get better on paper from last year. They brought in a number 2 overall pick. They have a 6th rounder who's performing better than anyone expected. They have a cornerback who, until yesterday, was performing better than anyone expected. And you bring it in here, and it's a worse defense. It's tough for me to accept that. It's tough for me to accept that this defense is 20 points worse than the Atlanta Falcons defense, which the Seahawks saw last week and only put up 23 against. So it's hard for me to accept that. It's hard for me to accept that this defense is taking steps backwards. And I don't want to hear, oh, but what about Josh Pascal? Oh, you mean the guy that hasn't played a game in the NFL yet? Oh, but what about Levi Ozarike? Oh, you mean the guy that played like 3 games in the NFL? Oh, but what about Romeo Okwara? Oh, you mean the guy they haven't had for a year and a half?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even remember the last time he played.
No, it's about what we have now. The defense on paper is better than it was last year, and they are the worst defense in the NFL this year. It's
So
simple as that.
where does the spotlight turn to, right?
It needs to be
where
on
do you
Aaron
have
Glenn.
to go to? You go to the guy in charge of the defense, right? So rightfully so, the hottest seat in town would be on Aaron Glenn, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know he's in the crosshairs, right? And I'm not saying that it hasn't been awfully bad. I mean, this is historically bad, how bad it's been. But I wonder how things change. Like, we talk about the NFL and how things change quickly, right? The entire trajectory and thought process of the Lions changed in 60 minutes on Sunday. Because you know where I am with it. It's 1-3. Green Bay, Minnesota at 3-1. You played 3 home games already.
It's over. So
You got the number 4 pick in the draft right now. You know what I'm saying? You need help. It's apparent you still need help. It's incredible to me, T. Foss, how quickly this Aaron Glenn thing. When we were doing the Hard Knocks recaps on Monday, this guy, you Spence, a month and a half ago, you were sitting in that booth. I love this guy. I love Aaron Glenn. And I'm not calling you out, man. You're a stand-up guy. You'll say, hey, I did say those things.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But this is a results-driven business.
Yeah.
Feel good lasts for a little bit.
I think we all have learned a lesson here. Entertainment doesn't mean production. Because we love Aaron Glenn and Deuce Staley. That was cute. It was nice. It was cute seeing Dan Campbell go up and give these rah-rah speeches. But that doesn't mean you're good. It doesn't mean words are going to turn guys into excellent players. It's entertainment for us. And we all fell for most of us fell for the trap.
I just want to know what happened in a week-to-week basis, where you held that, Vikings offense to 24, I think, or 28, with Justin Jefferson, with Dalvin Cook, with that, and then you let Geno Smith come into your house and put up 41 on you. I need answers. Like, I need some. Tell me. I want you to come out and say, if you're going to come out and say, yeah, it was this. They were toasting us on this. We didn't make adjustments. Man up and say it. If not,
I'll tell you what they didn't adjust, big fella. The bootleg of Geno Smith, where he would turn around and hit the tight end. That was open all game. They could have called that play 50 times, and it would have worked 50 times.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Montarstica says, just curious when Brad Holmes gets held accountable. We have no good real free agents. We've addressed that. Lots of players drafted hurt. I get he's found some gems late, but why not early? You mean like the gold jacket offensive lineman he took with his very first pick? And Aiden Hutchinson, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, according to Sam Flannel.
That took a hit this week.
So he's fallen off the pace, it's safe to say.
He has absolutely fallen off the pace. Like I said earlier, in 14 out of the 16 quarters, you don't even know he's on the field, and that is a problem, especially when you might think with a defensive play or two from Aiden Hutchinson, maybe the Lions are 3-1 instead of 1-3. Those are the type of impacts that defensive ends can make, and Aiden Hutchinson, outside of the first half of the Commanders game, he just disappears from games. You don't even know he's on the field, and that's a problem. And that's coming from probably the biggest Aiden Hutchinson fan on any sports media outlet in the whole city of Detroit. So if I'm saying it, it must be true.
So the short answer, I guess, to your question is, when does Brad Holmes get held accountable? To me, in 2024. When, as it sits right now, he's got $113 million in cap space. That's as it sits right now, according to Spot Rack. That's with Jared Goff signed, Taylor Decker signed, Frank Ragnow signed, Tracy Walker signed, Hutchinson signed, Sewell signed, Jameson Williams signed, etc., etc., etc. So that's when he gets judged for me. How are you going to ask him to sign? There's $3 million in cap space now, and they didn't sign anybody this year. How do you expect him to overcome that? It's math. That's why I'm not having the slander, T-Foss. I'm not.
When it comes to free agency, and this...
I know you hate money.
No. People don't want to come here. It's very hard to get free agents to come here and play for the Detroit Lions.
Well, it's really hard when you don't have the money to give to them.
When you don't have the money, that is correct. The other thing that people have to understand about Brad Holmes is the decisions he's making. He is looking long term. He could have hired somebody, who's over the hill, contribute for a year or two, and then you let him go because he's either fat, slow, and can't play anymore, but just had a year or two left in him, and maybe you have a little better team in the short term. But what he decided to do, we're going to go young, we're going to try to go fast, we're going to try to get guys who are going to be good 3, 4, 5 years down the road rather than doing the quick fix. He could have done the quick fix.
But Terry, he couldn't have. He couldn't have.
Well, he could have.
No, he can't. Terry, there's no money to spend, man.
Well, he could have got some scrubs.
$25 million in dead cap this year. $25 million. The sports marketing agency helps spread awareness of mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast called This is the S Word. It helps fight the stigma about seeking help for mental health issues. If you, or maybe even more importantly, someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Again, thesportsma.com, the sports marketing agency. They're here to help.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it, you've heard of it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play as well as private lane reservation for $120 if you get thirsty. They have a $2 mystery beer vending machine. You put in $2, pops you out a good beer. No hassle, no fuss needed. If you know what you want, they have multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you come down, check them out in Hamtramck, or visit them online at foalingwarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster here in the house, Sam Flannel, Spenmo Rax, Spencer Raxter as well. But we're talking Detroit Lions, and it's going to carry a lot of the show here today because it's just one of those things where, to me, the season's a wrap. You're at 1-3. The math dictates that it's over. You have the 4th pick in the draft next year as it sits right now. That's what it is, guys. And what reason, D-Mac, what rationale do you have to assume that it can get better, right? Now they got 2 road games in a row. Your coach has never won a road game in his NFL coaching career. You just start putting 2 and 2 together, D-Mac. Like that's where we're at. It's a sober up Monday.
Well, again, too, because you have injuries, you don't know what the talent is, you can't stop anybody. You look at what you said, you haven't won on the road. Things are against you, but when you're looking at your division, like you said, when you're 1-3, and the guys that you're expecting at the top are already 3-1, you should. I mean, this is, like I said, we somewhat joke about it, but it's realistic. The best thing would be is to bring the tanks in, and continue to play, and you want guys to improve and stuff like this. But what has shown me that they can, because even when they're putting up 40-some points, 45 points, they still can't win, right? Which, the good thing for this Monday, we haven't talked in the first 50 minutes about Jared Goff or offense or something like this.
Yeah, right? I'm going to get to that. But
No, I get it, and what's going on that side of the ball. So that's, sort of that's where you can look to the positive side of it and what Ben Johnson and the offense is doing, even without, right, you didn't have Chark, you didn't have St. Brown, you didn't have Swift. So, I mean, there's kudos in that spot, but the glaring spot that needs to be focused on, and what's Bill Belichick going to do? You're only going against arguably the greatest coach in football history that knows how disheveled you are and is watching the second. What's he going to do? And then, like you said, what's it going to show you when Bailey Zappi, who's played a total of 12 games in his whole football career, right, goes in and beats you, right? You thought Geno Smith was bad. What's this going to tell you?
All right, fellas, throughout this whole process, what coach has coached 21 games in the city of Detroit and only won 4 of them?
Say that again.
That would be Dan Campbell.
The only one. Huh?
He's 4-16-1 as a head coach. Yet, what we're hearing today is Brad Holmes. We're hearing about the defensive coordinator, and to a lesser extent, we're listening about Jared Goff, who was the second best quarterback in the National Football League last year. What about Dan Campbell? Dan Campbell is the head of this organization. But see, this goes back to my belief about him. His personality is so strong, and he says things that everybody wants to hear, that he's become the Teflon man.
Snake oil merchant.
Right. He's 4-16-1 as a head coach.
That's what it is.
He deserves some heat. Last year, he didn't win a game until November. This year, he's won 1 game in September/October.
But doesn't it go back to your point, T, that if he ain't going anywhere, where's the heat? Right? You only put the heat on something that you think is going to be movable.
Well, no. That's not what fans do. Fans put heat on things that they're pissed about.
Right.
Whether they're going to, I mean, for
But
instance,
are we talking true heat here? Like who's like really on the hot seat in jeopardy, or who we mad at?
I think today it's a who you're mad at. Yeah, that's a good call, D-Mac. Today it's a who you're mad at. I mean, hot seat. Dan Campbell's not on a hot seat though, Terry. He's your
not.
Coach going into next year.
I'm mad at Dan
no matter
Campbell.
what happens.
I am simply saying, why is he not getting criticized for the job that he's done here?
I'll ask the people. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Why isn't Dan Campbell getting heat here today? Here's a funny one for you too. People Pleaser says we're still paying Jelani Tavai as well as Trey Flowers and Jamie Collins too. I'll take that one even a little bit deeper too. How about this one? Jelani Tavai, David Blau, Tim Boyle, $2.8 million this year.
Ouch.
No.
Unbelievable.
That's in addition to your 18 and a half.
So there's your kicker.
Yeah, that's in addition to your 18 and a half Trey Flowers and Jamie Collins.
Which can I just like subtly to everybody out there, when the first PAT went up and the kid missed it, did anybody just like go omen? Like same old lines differently? It's sold, man. It's like they just continue to do it. It was the omen there. I just wonder if anybody else felt like, oh wow. And to the way that it played out to sort of the theme of the game, right? Just not quite there.
Dominic Eberle needs to get that LinkedIn freshened up.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt about that. And I mean that's the question. I think that I'm curious to see where the people are at with that.
See, and you know what? Here's the thing. I just saw somebody with Walker, Tracy Walker going down. Right, like I said, him getting kicked out of the game and losing the first game of the year, playing the second game, then getting hurt. That's the big miss on the back end, big loss. I think that they haven't adjusted to. Right, like I think that if you look at when he's been in there, like we're talking about Hockenson and the defense getting pressure in 2 quarters out of 16. You look at when Tracy Walker's in there and they haven't adjusted or filled in for what he's meant. And I think that we're talking about guys that haven't even seen the field or been out there or injured with a couple of games. That's a big loss for them.
Austin the Truth says Brad Holmes deserves blame. I'm sorry, but the free agents are trashed, which there really were no free agents. He says, what has Chark done? Number 1 offense in the league. So we can just cut that ish off right there. Number 1 scoring offense in the league. Offense is fine. Right?
Yeah, but Baby Chark is bad, though.
Okay. And guess what? He's
He'll
only
be
under
gone.
contract for the Lions for about 4 more months.
It was a prove-it deal. He's not proving it, so you let go of him.
You need to cut it.
And to your point, Neal, though, like, here's the thing. He hasn't produced anything and look at what the offense is
Right.
doing. So, you know what I'm saying? He gets credit for being a part of the offense even though he's not producing. And like you said, then he's gone 4 months.
Once again, here I'll ask the question. Everybody who's on Brad Holmes, why is your anger not directed towards Dan Campbell?
Is there still a Hard Knocks grace?
Oh yeah, Dan Campbell
That blows me
owns
away.
this city. He came in talking exactly what the fans wanted to hear. They were willing to go through a brick wall for this guy. He has programmed this fan base into believing in him no matter what he does. It's 4-16-1 as a coach. This is the year that we need to find out, is he just a motivator or can he coach? So far, he can't coach. Great motivator.
Which was my D-Mac through all this. What was my one question?
Absolutely.
Can he coach?
And can he coach? And now what we're going to see is the same thing as can guys play? Can we get guys healthy? But that's where the clock, a lot of it to the clock of running out is reevaluating the situation of where we're at. And it's some sort, I think people have given that sort of, he got that grace. Coming off hard knocks, he sort of had that grace. And I think yesterday we didn't see the blatant, like last week, the coaching decisions he took at heart. Everybody was questioning could he coach? This week it's blatant that the adjustments by the defensive coordinator overshadow any coaching decision.
Speaking of the linebacker situation, just kind of because my thing is that's the position, right, where when we talk about free agency and things like that, and I had it in my mind, I'm like, well, Alex Anzalone's like the highest paid linebacker at $2 million, which he's not. I forgot about Romeo Okwara, and it's easy to forget about him.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't played.
He hasn't played, and I think it's time to take a look at you have an out after this year.
On Okwara?
Yeah, it's going to cost you $7 million in dead cap to do it.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see what he can do when he comes back. It's if he is what he was, if he's
is he supposed to come back?
Yeah.
Is he? Like
I feel like he has to. Like,
I mean, I'm asking because I don't know.
I haven't heard any updates from him. I mean, he was on PUP, so he's coming back after week 5, is what he should be. And on track to do so. I feel like he should be because it was an Achilles, so it is tough. But he's had enough time. Hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully he adds a punch. But man, I don't know if we're in the business of cutting defensive ends. I don't know if we can do that, like cutting pass rushers. Unless you're saying literally let's tank and get Will Anderson. Because when Romeo Okwara was healthy, he was our best pass rusher. And that's why he got the bag.
That's why you got exactly. Mm-hmm. But you got to get on the field, man.
Availability, man.
You got to get on the field.
That's the biggest thing for a lot of guys and stuff like this. But the one thing that I do know, if you want a great haircut, and also guys, an opportunity, guys and girls, come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning experience and register. Yes, you can register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. Yes, your dream home, up to $200,000. So get to any Lady Jane's. There's 168 of them across this great country. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Neal Ruhl here for oddstrader.com, the number one site for all of your game day betting activity. Play-by-play updates, live scores, and the most important part of all this, the best price on every game from multiple sports books. When I'm giving you the get-right pick to the tune of 22-8 this year, I got oddstrader.com open right in front of me as I'm doing it. And I pick off the line I want from whatever sports book is available. You can customize a list to the ones you have accounts with. So you're not going back and forth on your phone, opening apps, closing apps. Oh, you're logged out of this one. You need the Face ID to get back into that one. None of that. oddstrader.com. You see all the lines. You fire away instantly. And you get the best line. Don't give anything away. Find your best bet at oddstrader.com. Pulling up on the second hour of the show. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spenmo Rack, Spencer Rackster here in the building as well. Island West says, we got Alex Anzalone as a starter. Let that sink in. That's courtesy of our WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Everyone watch on WoodwardSports.com. Appreciate you tapping in. Hope you enjoy the new website. And D. Smitty says, Neal, to Romeo Quares's credit, he was available in all games in 2020 but was injured the next year. So this is his full recovery year. He should be fine. Well, you know, I always defer to Rick Ross in these types of questions because that's where we're at.
Show us.
Got to show us, brother. Like, that's the way it is. And if you can't get out there, then we got to take a look at what's going on.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why are we surprised? Why this happens every year, and every year it happens, we're like, "Damn, how did this happen?" This is what they do.
Damn, 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 damn.
James, damn. But it happens every year, and after every year, when this happens, we're like this, like, "Oh my God, the Lions are bad." Why? How? This is impossible.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Your mom's favorite skater says Dan Campbell is the NFL version of Joel Osteen.
Like, closer to the truth than not.
Yeah. Hey, we're all laughing at it.
Hey, if he starts having speaking tours at the Astrodome, then I'll believe it.
Right.
You know.
No, but you know, Dan Campbell.
That was harsh.
Of course, the Silver Dome is down, but since
My
it's
daddy
Ford
used to
Field,
give money to
Dan
Joel Osteen.
Campbell could have a revival at Ford Field and fill it. That's how much we're into him now.
D-Mac, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
And I'll welcome in Sam Flannel's thoughts after I get yours. Tom Kennedy made a couple plays yesterday, low-key.
Yes, sir.
Kennedy. A second and 23 first down conversion, a third and long that kept him alive.
Well, what the biggest thing that I liked is, you know, guys get an opportunity, but if I preach about throughout any game about making mistakes, but then learn from your mistakes, whether it's scheme or not. Well, Tom Kennedy dropped one early, and what I said, it was like a welcome to the big leagues, the difference between the practice squad and the NFL when he catches the ball and then he got hit and dropped it. But then he adjusted and he came back and then he made plays and he made catches. And like you guys were tweeting as the game was going on, if the Lions pull that out, you got to, you know, we were going to sit down and hammer on Sam Flannel there. But that's what I look at Tom Kennedy is it's along the lines of getting the most out of seeing talent out there, and he took advantage of his opportunity. And you know, it's okay, you're going to make mistakes in sports, but don't make the same ones twice. And like you said, he made big plays. At the end of the day, Neal, he's got stats in the NFL.
Your thought. He did some things out there, Sam Flannel. You got to admit it.
Hey, contrary to popular belief, if he is up there playing with the Lions, I want him to do well, because if he plays well, the Lions, it will be really good for the Lions. It's just a bonus. And yesterday, that 2nd and 23 28-yard catch, that was huge. That 4th and 9 catch to help, you know, keep the Lions in the game, that was absolutely huge. But I'm a little bit worried that some Lions fans are going to overrate this a little bit and say stuff like, oh, he should be on the team over DJ Chark. You're going to hear it from Maz in the next show. I guarantee it. I will set my watch to it.
Hey, guess what?
What?
I'll say it.
Oh, come on. Oh, stop it.
Well, Neal, hey, I'm gonna answer it for Neal, and he's like, well, for the price point.
And hey, you know what? And Spence, I know. Spence, can we go back to this one? Spence put it up there. You're getting tired of the Dan Campbell shtick. It's about 50-50 right now. Let's close that one out. We'll get back to it in the next segment because
Okay.
I'll ask a question of the people right now. DJ Chark or Tom Kennedy on this team? WoodwardSports.com chat poll.
Jeez.
Let's do it. Hey.
Well,
Tom Kennedy, $200,000, 207 to be exact. I know that has to be bumped up if he's on the roster, but
you also got to remember that in the height of his powers, when Tom Kennedy was the preseason superhero, people said they'd take him over Jerry Rice. So,
All right, answer this question, fellas. I want you to put your thinking caps on. Why did Tom Kennedy look better than Aiden Hutchinson yesterday?
Because he was on offense.
You know why?
because he got double teamed less?
No,
That's what I was told.
Yeah, they triple teamed Tom Kennedy. No, because he was put in a scheme that
Set him
he
up
could
for success.
Right. Yesterday was a coaching elevation and a coaching devaluation. On offense, the coaching was terrific. On defense, it was awful.
My question is Tom Kennedy a reflection on Ben Johnson and how great he is? Do we look at the Tom Kennedy to the plug and play to different guys that he can scheme? Because it goes to what Terry's saying is I would use that as an argument to why Ben Johnson is doing a great job on offense is because he can put these guys in. So to Terry's point, the scheme that they're practicing, whatever the practice squad is, it's easily maintained, or the playbook into the real game to be able to make plays. So to me, that reflects on Ben Johnson.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Chili Damon says Tom Kennedy though, and this poll's been up for 50 seconds. We got 116 votes. DJ Chark or Tom Kennedy? Tom Kennedy, 53% of the votes.
All right.
Now,
you know what? His name is not Tom Kennedy, guys. Let's get it right. It's Tom Terrific.
Tom Terrific. Or
Tommy
Mr.
T.
Kennedy.
That's right.
It's just a question. It's just a question that I have right now. Nicholas Duncan, Kennedy or Cup? I'm going Kennedy.
Of course you are. Of course,
I don't want to pay $25 million to a receiver. I'd rather pay $207,000.
And you know what? Cooper Kupp only had 4 receptions for 44 yards last game.
So therefore, Tom Kennedy's better.
Kennedy.
That's what you guys are going to say. But I think D-Mac makes a great point about him maybe being helped out by Ben Johnson's scheme. Because Ben Johnson, he's the one guy on the Lions right now that I have a 100% approval rating of. Aaron Glenn, absolutely not. Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes as well has a 100% approval rating for me. But on the coaching staff and players, to me, Ben Johnson is the star of this team, coach and player. And honestly, if Dan Campbell doesn't, get it together, I'm going to call for Ben Johnson to be elevated to head coach because I want a young offensive wonderkid on this team.
Don't laugh at him.
I'm not.
Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay,
It's a sober up Monday, Terry.
But my thing is, does that take away? Will that take away from his offensive prowess? You know what I'm saying? But you're not out of line to say that could be down the hopper because you give examples of the Sean McVays, the Kyle Shanahans, the way that some of the teams have evolved into these young offensive guys.
I want a young offensive mind or even any offensive mind as this head coach if Dan Campbell doesn't work out. You even look at Andy Reid, probably the most brilliant offensive mind in the last 20 years. Look what he's done along with Patrick Mahomes and even before with Alex Smith and Donovan McNabb. This league is trending towards having a young, offensive, innovative coach. Like I said, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Zach Taylor, even a guy like Brian Daboll. This is where the league is trending. And I want that for the Lions if Dan Campbell doesn't work out. And Ben Johnson has been a rock star so far this year in his first year as the full-time offensive coordinator for the Lions. Look what he's doing with this offense. Look what this offense was able to do yesterday with all those pieces out. Look how Amon-Ra St. Brown has emerged ever since Ben Johnson has become a part of this offensive coaching staff. I want Ben Johnson to be the head coach of the Detroit Lions if Dan Campbell doesn't work out. And now that it's 1-3, it's looking like this might be a 5-win football team. And what did I say? If they win 5 games or less, get Dan Campbell out, fire him at the end of the year, elevate Ben Johnson. Let's go.
All right. If he wins 5 games, I agree with him. Get his ass out of here. Now, yes, the NFL is trending to young guys who are very innovative. Ben Johnson might be that guy. Remember, the Detroit Lions, do you know what coach the Detroit Lions had in their system? The young people won't know this thing, but they had Don Shula. Don Shula was an assistant coach with the Lions.
Bill Belichick was here.
Jerry Venisi, who later, he was here in the front office, couldn't get promoted. Went to the Chicago Bears, put a Super Bowl team together. So Ben Johnson could be that next guy.
And here's the one thing too is that, and I see it in the Woodward Sports chat, is the fact that somebody might pluck this kid off, give him an opportunity somewhere else. Because if we're seeing this and the whole league's seeing this, and obviously the numbers aren't lying, there's other teams talking that need an offensive guy. So do you get into the point where you have to either pay him more or have the risk of losing him?
No, someone's going to offer him a head coaching job at the end of the season. I can guarantee you.
All right. Well, it's a T.
Well, I was told Aaron Glenn, too.
T guarantee. Well,
could lose both coordinators.
Yeah.
Then what are we going to do?
Could that be the biggest? That's a question, too. Could that be the biggest pop in the balloon about Aaron Glenn losing him as a head coach, the way it's performed? Or I don't know. It's just because that's the talk it was, as everybody's giving the hype preseason during Hard Knocks and all that stuff to Spencer's point. So, yeah, you have to worry. I think Terry's right on point is that he will get offered a head coaching job.
Cintron's got an offer for you, too, the official energy drink of the Red Wings. They've combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box. Yes, you can try Cintron's great tasting cranberry, classic and sugar-free, all-in-one Red Wings-themed package. You can pre-order it at CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Guys, the season's almost here. As we said, Cintron, the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron, and let's go Red Wings. Please.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers. That's right. Get your customized approach to weight loss. Think of all the ways that weight affects your health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Custom Health Centers blessed to have over 20,000 success stories. It's been our honor to help many professional athletes lose weight and improve their health. People like Detroit Lion Eddie Murray and Detroit Piston, and my broadcast partner sometimes, our buddy T-Foss, Rick Mahorn. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health at 844-789-8446. Again, 844-789-8446. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster. Everything is on and popping. Sam Flannel, Spen Morax here in the house as well. Woodward Heavyweights tonight, 5 o'clock, live from?
Gentlemen's Club in Detroit.
Coliseum.
Promote yourself.
Yeah, we're going to be at the Coliseum from 5 to 7 tonight.
Absolutely. Can't wait for that. Hey, football's more fun, I guess, when you are there. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. T-Foss has a critical question that it's time, because it's time, folks. It's time to give you scenarios now. It is. You're 1-3, and it's a wrap. And there were some positive things, and I do want to get to those that I want to point out, because I want to make sure that some people do get their shine. But real quickly, in our WoodwardSports.com chat thread, I've heard this from a couple outlets. I haven't heard this overridingly. Malcolm Rodriguez, I guess, catching a little heat from some people, did have 11 tackles, got in there on Geno Smith once, which, was a heck of a lot. Again, Malcolm Rodriguez is the least of everybody's worries. The absolute least of everybody. I know what I'm getting with him,
He's
man.
the best player on the defense.
He's going to get to the ball. Like, dude, yeah. He's going to get to the ball, and he ain't stopping.
Yeah.
That's it. No concerns about Malcolm Rodriguez.
You can't criticize him. He shouldn't even be in the league. But he has overcome a lot of things. He was a 6th-round pick. You don't select 6th-round picks to be starters in their rookie year.
And be copping 11 tackles in a game and quarterback pressures and stuff like that. Yeah. That should have been my 4th kid. There will be no Malcolm Rodriguez
He's a kid. He's just going to get better and better every day. Every practice was what he is. We have the luxury of knowing the kid, of meeting the kid, and that's just his mentality and the way he's built. So, yeah, I mean, if he's if Ben Johnson's your brightest spot, well, Malcolm Rodriguez, I mean, that's not, like you said, Terry, how often does that happen?
The chances of that happen like 10%.
10%.
Don Burr says hire Vic Fangino as the new defensive coordinator. Econ says Spencer seems distracted at the Coliseum the past few shows. Can you confirm?
Yeah, it's hard to keep.
It's a trying work environment.
It is.
Looted Corpse, is the Patriots a must-win? Nope, because it's over. See, guys, this is the evolution of that. When I say that stuff, in the vacuum of this season, the must-wins are done. Sorry, because it's over.
You win that game, you're actually, in the end, when we talk to the end of the season, and then what makes you 6, 7, 8, if you can get there, if that, and it will deter you. So it's almost you be benefiting a loss.
And think about it. If you win the game, you're 2-3, but you still have an historically bad defense. So the Grim Reaper is coming any minute now.
And that's where it is, guys. And that's why the Seahawks game was big. You win that game, you're 2-2, like the Seahawks are now. And if they get a favorable result Monday Night Football tonight, they're tied for first in their division. That's how fine the line is, guys. That's how close you were. Because T-Foss, and I'll be the first to say it, if you're 2-2 going to New England, then we can have the conversation. What does a win do for you? You get that. You get that little twitch of a little tinge of excitement.
There are teams at 2-2 who are tied for the division lead.
Not your Lions, because they're 1-3. In the easy part of the schedule, we're 3-4. We're at home. It's a wrap, guys, because you got 2 road games coming up. You're at New England, and then you're at Dallas. Oh, by the way, Dak Prescott's supposed to be coming back, and if he doesn't, Cooper Rush is 3-0.
Fire up, Chips. That's right.
They found a way.
Sure did.
They found a way to. That's my point about they find a way. It doesn't matter. And all I hear, D-Mac, is, well, this qualifier. Well, that qualifier. Well, the Jets beat the Steelers, but that's not the Steelers. I don't care. No one cares how you got there in the NFL. The Lions aren't there. Period. End of story.
And like Terry said, I haven't been there in a while. Right? And that's why the clock, and that's why the build, and this reality, and we'd hope for better things coming out of Hard Knocks, but reality is set in. Terry made the greatest point. It doesn't matter what happens. The monster's in the room, and it's on defense, and it's not getting any better. At least you can't think it's going to get any better until you get guys healthy or different guys in. The guys you were naming off earlier, the Quarriers, the Pascals, the guys they drafted and stuff like this. So availability is a big thing, but it ain't getting any better defensively sooner. Do you think it is? I mean,
no.
Unless the coaching gets better, the
2 more drafts
teams gets better.
2 more drafts. 2 more drafts and some free agent and some salary cap space. And you don't have that for 2 more years. That's the lay of the land, guys. I'm sorry, but that's where it is. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Ricky Bobby says, trade Okudah ASAP. All right, we can have this discussion. Okay, Ricky Bobby, you're another GM. You're talking about this trade of Okudah. You're another GM. Or you know what? I'll say you're the Lions GM. I'm another team's GM. Yeah, man, I was calling you about Jeff Okudah. Hey, I know he's a $10.7 million cap hit next year. So, like, will you pay half of that for me to take him? That's the start of the discussion. Right, T-Foss? That's the start of the discussion.
And the other thing is he's coming off an Achilles injury. He's looked all right, but I'm not interested.
And it's, again, I'll qualify it. He was one of the few that made, a play on defense yesterday. And I'm happy he seems to be a viable NFL player. But it's not his fault where he got drafted. But that contract is what the contract. Guys, like, we got to think this stuff through, guys.
Now, if he was a third-round pick, I might pick up the phone and we may have a deal. But it's too much money.
It wouldn't be 10.7 on the cap, So.
Right.
It wouldn't be.
So that's that's the way that stuff works. Todd Wenzel says, Neal ain't wrong, sad to say, but he ain't wrong. That's the reality of where they are. That's how fine the line is. So, yeah, OVA. It's over.
There's so many things going on here, as far as the cap. And Terry brings up the greatest point, too, is that it's not a destination place. Somebody said, well, Lamar Jackson said he'd come here. You go anywhere for $50 million, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so the fact that you're working against it is that you got to sell on what the future is. So you got to put these pieces in place. The best thing is that we finish this season, the clock runs out, and we've had one win, right? Then you get the pick of the litter. You can go get Will Anderson and start even more of the defense. But the reality, Neal, that the defense won't improve either through the draft or free agency for a couple seasons.
Sapper 18, do you think Crystal with an X can kick? bring her down to Allen Park.
I thought we were having auditions today.
Yeah, bring her down to Allen Park.
And she might do it for $10,000.
Now, I'm on board.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on board.
Mr. Monitor up there, are you getting any traction on why is Dan Campbell pretty much getting the free reign, getting the free pass here?
And yes, you wanted to ask the question, and it took me a little while to get there. By the way, we wrapped up that WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Who would you rather have at the receiver spot, DJ Chark or Tom Kennedy? Late rally by DJ Chark, 51%. Tom Kennedy, 48%.
The people are smart. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. T-Foss, you had a question, and it's a scenario question, and it's interesting to me.
Right.
So, damn the show sheet, go to it.
If Dan Campbell wins 5 games this year.
So, it goes 5-12.
Goes 5-12. Has 8 victories in 2 years. Would you pull the plug on him?
For me, that question comes down to timing, i.e., who's available?
Okay,
is
Ben
your guy
Johnson's
out there?
available.
Who?
Ben Johnson's available.
Ben Johnson's
Sean Payton's available.
Sean Payton's available.
Does he have the desire? Would I kick the tires on it? I suppose. Right?
Every conversation is open. Right?
Fair. That's what I wanted to say.
Every conversation is open. You're not secured, but you have to weigh who's out there, different things like that. I think I would lean towards no, because it's the process, and if you're going to do the building process and the clock and stuff like this to where the books are at, you got to dig in to if you believe that after these 2 years or 3 years that you're actually going somewhere and not going in reverse. But those are the hard questions to have, right? So no conversations off the table.
What about you, T-Foss?
Yes, I would, because he would prove to me that he can't coach. He's got a lower winning percentage than Matt Patricia. They have a lower winning percentage than well, not Matt Millen, but it's in that neighborhood.
It's in the ballpark.
It's in the ballpark. And he should have been let go after 2 years and wasn't. So, but if he can get to 7 or 8, he would prove that he can do something. But if this guy goes 3 wins and 5 wins, you need to let his ass go. I don't care how entertaining he is. I don't care how fun he is. I don't care about kneecaps. And Darren, I'm going to disagree with you slightly on something. You think the Dan Campbell shade is because of Hard Knocks. I think it goes back to kneecaps. His opening press conference, he won it, and he swayed this community over, and people were all in on him.
Yeah, I think that's where it started. But I mean, if you were just sitting here going on kneecaps from 2 years ago, no, he's taking heat. It's Hard Knocks has carried him through to that. So that's where it started.
He's not taking heat.
That's what I'm saying, because the Hard Knocks gave it. So the kneecaps, if there was no Hard Knocks, he's taking more heat. Absolutely, 100 million% right now with where they're at. If we don't have Hard Knocks this year, we don't see behind the scenes of what they're trying to build behind. We just see this product and stuff like this. He's definitely taking more heat. It's because the Hard Knocks is giving it the thing.
If Dan Campbell wins 8 games in 2 years, you're going to keep him as coach?
No, it's conversation. I'm Terry. 4 games into this season. I'm waiting till the clock goes out. I'm going to have every conversation. But I could agree with you. That's not out of line, right? To whatever. And you know what, if it is, because it's not totally when you're building the culture to whatever. I'm sorry, but with the Lions, it's more than just the wins and losses at the end of the day to move forward.
And I'll say this about D-Mac. He does kind of lean towards the positive most times, but he looked in that camera and said, you have to have the conversation about Jeff Blashill. He was first to the party on that one. He did say that. And I think it's the exact same situation.
It is.
The exact same scenario.
It is.
And it's a timing of who's available.
Here's the thing, too. Isn't this timing? What last year, Anthony Lynn? When did Dan Campbell take the reins away from what
early
week? What week?
Yeah.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah, it was early.
So what I'm saying is we could go into this week and obviously not being changed, but there could be something done in the bye week. It seems like it's Dan Campbell's MO or whatever else. It worked on the offense. It can't. If he's laying in bed or drinking coffee this morning or something, these conversations, everything's up for grabs.
WoodwardSports.com, chat thread, Big Debo72, and in 2 years the offensive line will need to be retooled. You can turn around in one offseason. It happens every year except here. That's because the other places can dip into free agency. The Lions cannot. In 2 years, no, your offensive line does not need to be retooled. Because in 2 years, when you have all that cap space, you have Decker, Ragnow, Sewell, all under contract, and your quarterback under contract. That's when, guys, I'm sorry, but that's when Brad Holmes can cook.
But do you want to keep your quarterback? That's the other issue.
Right, but you can have those conversations. Mm-hmm. Just like if you're in the market for home security, there's only one conversation you should have.
Oh, you know it's only Guardian Alarm, and right now is the perfect time to make sure that you have peace of mind and home security from Guardian Alarm, the most trusted name in home and business security. With 24/7 monitoring, you can have the peace of mind of knowing bring back by the best. So, give them a call today, 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
How many straight days?
141.
141 straight days of flannel protection. If you want to be part of the Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network family, give them a call today, 1-800.
Stay out. Get out
Stay
of
out
my
the end
house.
zone, Geno Smith.
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts, tell them Big D Energy sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Still the month of October, our friends at Big Frog Rivet are giving away free Woodward Sports t-shirts. Yeah, that's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog and Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you. They'll print you one up right on the spot. Go to Big Frog Novi today, get your free t-shirt, or visit them online, bigfrog.com/Novi.
Favorite bumper music here, man, no doubt about it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports. Almost makes me feel better about yesterday.
Honestly.
Almost, but then I remember, and then I go right back to that place. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac. Swinging, D-Mac. Darren McCarty here now.
Calm down, Annie. Are you feeling better about yourself?
I was not. I was fine before.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. I know there was a lot of
Your
talk.
hat was on fire.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of. I've always been under control, T-Foss. I'm a professional.
Okay, all right.
Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter.
Get dope like me.
Squish A1, but this was perfect timing. Can we give Goff a little credit to all the haters? Only one defense in the league has given up enough points this year to anybody to lose that game, and that was Aaron Glenn's defense. And that's where I wanted to go. There were a couple things. Jared Goff, you can't ask for more. And all the haters, and Spenmo Rax is one of them.
Yes.
But you're a very level-headed person.
I am.
You can't ask for more out of that.
No.
He is just playing as well as any quarterback in the league.
Yeah, he's playing very well. I can't say anything about it. It's definitely not on him. None of this is on him. Congrats to Jared Goff. He's going out there. He's doing what he needs to do, getting the job done. You put up 45 points in a game, you expect to win. So
throw for 4 touchdowns, whatever that.
Yeah.
He balled out yesterday.
Yes, he did.
Has your opinion changed on him from the because he's been consistent for the first 4 games?
He has been. I have a newfound respect for him. He's better than I thought he was going to be. But in this town, we are reluctant to give it up to the starting quarterback of the Detroit Lions. At least we're not getting into, well, somebody else should be the starting quarterback. Who's the backup here? But I think we have to look at Jared Goff and say, you know what? He's a plus on this team. Jared Goff has balled out. Jared Goff has been better than I thought he was going to be. He's been very, very, very good.
No, he has, and he's
been good at a discount to market.
Right, and you look at the why, you can follow it, and again, it gives a little check mark to the job that Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, has done.
You mean the next Lions head coach?
The next Lions head coach, Terry.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Nicholas Duncan. Goff under contract for how long? There is an out after this year. If you did want to part ways with him, it will cost you $10 million in cap space after this season. You have him under team control for the next 2 years at an average of $31 million per year, which
is a deal.
Which is a deal when
especially when he's playing like this. If he's playing top 10 in the league to whatever, when Lamar and Rodgers and all these guys.
Deshaun Watson makes $50 million a year.
50.
Guaranteed. Stone cold guaranteed. Man. Lamar's getting more than that. You got Goff at 30-ish. You can't, Terry, I know you hate money.
It's a discount, but it's not.
and look, I'll save it too in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I'll save it. You think you're going to win a big game of Goff? We don't know. Are we ever going to get to play a big game? Because here we are. This week of NFL action started in September, and it's over for the Lions already.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with me, it was always, you can win games with Goff. You could win playoff games with Goff. But he hasn't shown that he can take you over that hump. But this team is not there yet. It's not even close to being there yet. So he's the perfect quarterback for what we need right now.
Philippines on the man. Neal, we love you, man. You do a good job as the host. Ricky Bobby steam was coming out of Neal's. See, I don't know.
No, it was.
You got a little
your
heated.
cap was on fire, brother. You didn't see it.
Yeah, but that wasn't about the Lions.
You got a little, like, I get when they question the hashtag why is it playing 1919. You got a little heated like that. You win the Brad Holmes.
But that was that was at Brad Holmes slander. That wasn't at the Lions per se.
No. We didn't.
But you were on fire. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
you were like D-Mac after Claude Lemieux hit Chris Draper. That's where you were.
I wasn't at that level.
10 months later. Let it stew for a bit. So it's almost like the same thing. We got to let this stew for 10 months. Then we get to wax them.
The clock.
Dave Mentier wants to know, so when do we start with the mock drafts? I think...
I don't want to do that.
Okay, but you lose in New England.
Oh, there he goes.
Can we do one if they lose in New England?
No.
WoodwardSports.com chat poll.
Would you want to see if they lose in New England during the bye week?
Do you want a mock draft
Do you want
during
a
the bye
mock
week?
draft for the bye week just to
This
say?
is a bye week.
That's the only reason. Right,
Please.
Sven?
Yeah.
Here's the thing we can't do. Let's not have one every damn week. Because when I was on the morning show, all they wanted to do was mock drafts. I'm like, fellas, it doesn't change. You're picking the same players. This is week after week. Move on.
I actually think because of the bye week or whatever, you could slide one in just to know or to
where
get
you
the-
stand.
just to get the names, and then there might be a couple college names that you hear.
I just want to wet everybody's whistle. So if they are 1-4, I just want to give. Hey, I just want to give the first hit of Blue Magic is on the house. Right, T-Foss? Isn't that what they do in the street, right?
Like what they do, or is Blue Magic J.J. McCarty as the Lions
The
quarterback?
first hit's free.
Okay.
And then we kind of go from there. I just want people's, I want people's priorities to be in check throughout the rest of What? Spencer, what? What?
This is the only reason that it's like somewhat acceptable is that it is a bye week.
That's why Mr. Accountability over here is allowing it and putting it like to say if the people want
I
it.
want the will of the people.
I want it. So do I. It's let them talk. And here's the whole thing too, because during the bye week, maybe going into the college football, maybe there's some names on the list that you'd be like, oh, I didn't know that guy, and then you get to see him and stuff like that. It's just it's a bye week. Could be a bye week tradition.
Mark
Started here at
Walston,
Big D.
such an old man term, wet the old whistle. Huh?
Yeah, that is an old man term.
Well, that was kind of the point of it, you guys. That was kind of the point of it. We talked about Jared Goff a little bit, and I saw earlier in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, the only people that are being critical of Goff right now are the people that were never going to give him a chance anyway, and I think that's very accurate.
No, and I think Terry said a point is the fact of newfound sort of respect for what he'd done, and how can you not do it? Because, like I said again, is that the expectations, and when you look at the analytics and the money and all this stuff like that, I mean, there's one of the most valuable guys in the league right now with the way that he's playing.
Right.
And you can't say
You
that.
can't
now.
argue
And you can't argue either, is that we don't know if he'll ever win a big game because we don't know if we'll ever play a big game.
So that's where it is. Some of the other stuff, TJ Hockenson, I think certainly warrants some discussion, and he's a guy that I want to get into on the other side, and also too something I noticed with this offensive line, by the way, because when I talked about this football game when we previewed it, I said it doesn't matter. And this was earlier in the week. It doesn't matter if Swift plays, doesn't play. They're going to be around 130 to 150 yards rushing, 145 yards rushing, 5.8 yards per carry.
Hank Fraley deserves a lot of credit.
There's another quote when you're going to you see it in the chat here, the WoodwardSports.com chat, is the fact that the last 2 weeks, would you say the Lions lost? Minnesota on coaching decisions and yesterday on coaching schemes. But in saying that, it's not all coaches, because the consistency to the offensive side of the ball, right? Give it the receivers, give Antoine Randall some flowers for putting Tom Kennedy and having his receivers ready. The ones to produce. So I mean, the offensive side of the ball seems to be okay.
No, you definitely can say it's coaching. And I don't want to hear that, well, they don't have talent. We know that. But you can still make one stop if you have bad talent.
That's why it's so much more important when you don't have talent from a coaching perspective, is to put them in the right position to win. It's the same thing like in hockey. If I don't have the offensive ability talent, well, I'm going to play more of a defensive trapping system and try to beat the team 1-0 or 2-1 or stuff like that, because I can't blow them out. So
T-Foss, they stopped them once. They missed a field goal.
And a fumble.
Okay.
I want
the
that on the
fumble
record.
was on special teams, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right.
Which special teams is Well,
caused by Malcolm Rodriguez.
That is true. Hey, if you're hungry, I'm going to put you in a position to succeed. Burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. That's right. We got a tweet over the weekend. You guys are rolling in for the burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. Appreciate that, Scott. That tweet, by the way. Delicious. Limited time only. All new burgers and loaded fries. It's not just a Slim Jim. It's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. So blue. Let's stop messing around and upgrade the fries, all right? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, bangers. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Burgers and fries.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you can join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers Tanning. You'll get all the best deals. They'll beat competitors' prices by at least $5. Chili Peppers Tanning has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. 26 locations, more on the way. Go to chilipepperstanning.com. Find out which one works best for you. It's Chili Peppers Tanning.
Chili Peppers Tan.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here in the building as well. There's some discussion in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Gino better than Jared Goff. Easy, guys. Sir Banjo says Gino's not better than Goff. He's better than Aaron Glenn, though.
Oof. Hey, sick Jared Goff on the Lions defense to see what he does.
See what happens to you, Napoleon. Woodwardsports.com chat poll. If they lose to New England, do you want a mock draft during the bye week? 64% of you say yes.
Disgusting.
Sorry, Spenmo Rax.
Put me down for no.
Yeah, I'm with you, Terry.
All right.
All right, well, you're in the 36% minority, I'm sorry to say. So, Spence?
I'm used to that.
Spence, you better root like hell for the Lions to do something they've never done under Dan Campbell. Win a road game.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, come on. How tough can it be? I know it's New England and Bill Belichick, but they got Beetle Bailey as their quarterback.
Bailey Zappi can zing it, man. He's played like 6 games in his career.
You know who else they got that made a couple plays yesterday? Old Jelani Tavai.
Oh, my God.
What if Jelani Tavai gets 2 sacks or an interception, and you're paying him $750,000 to play against you?
I was watching the end of that Green Bay New England game, and Jelani Tavai was all over the field for the Patriots. It's funny how that works. Like first Kyle Van Noy, and then Jelani Tavai, who was a complete bum for Detroit, goes to New England, is making some plays against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. Funny how that works. It just makes you want to stab yourself.
Once again, it's a reflection on they don't have coaching in this organization.
Well, Terry, what about this one here from Honolulu Blue Sparty? You guys see Pete Carroll laughing on the sidelines at the end? That says it all.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that.
No. He wasn't laughing at the end. He's laughing in the third quarter. He's having a good old time.
The whole time.
No, this man was not coaching an NFL game. He's like at the carnival ride, having a good old time. Because he knew every play he called on offense was working.
And what did we say? What did we say when we were previewing this game? And remember when we put it to the chat poll, like 75% say the Lions were going to win? Mm-hmm. Remember, Pete Carroll v. Dan Campbell. Who does that favor?
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll all day. All day. And it was proven.
Pretty important part of the game, too, right? Is that fair? I think it's fair.
I think it's fair.
I did want to talk about this as well. TJ Hockenson was up against it just in terms of, guys that were banged up, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Can't blame it on him, man.
No.
He did the job. And look, I've been a detractor. I've talked my talk about it. But, hey, he was dominant yesterday.
He didn't just play well. He was determined. There's a difference.
That's right.
Played
Jay,
angry.
that's what you saw. He played determined. I think when you watch all these great quarterback, tight end combinations throughout the league, especially the one last night, to watch Mahomes and Travis Kelce work, you saw some synergy between Goff and Hockenson. So hopefully the availability and the fact that he can step up and they can build on this, right? I got to see it more consistently. But I like the determined that he was a dog yesterday.
He was, and he also played like this. I'm going to win this game. And you know what?
You had that vibe.
He may have done it if they could put him on defense too.
No, right. The other one for me, again, going back to it, just talking about that rushing attack for the Lions, that offensive line. Penei Sewell, on that play from the 1 yard line when Williams ran in, Penei Sewell was 6 yards into the end zone with his guy. 6 yards.
Which was first and goal from the half-inch line, and you got to pound it in on fourth down, which is same old Lions and stuff like that. But, yeah, no, to the effectiveness of it goes back to the Hank Fraley and, to your draft pick about already putting the gold jacket on them, but that we needed to do that. They need to be effective, and they have to be able to do that.
Yeah, Penei Sewell was putting dudes in headlocks yesterday.
He was 6 yards into the end zone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hall of Fame, gold jacket loading, man. Like that's just the way it is. Gold jacket loading. I guess we could talk about it for a couple seconds. Spenmo Rax, your Michigan State Spartans fall at Maryland. I go to you for comment.
Yeah, I mean, Scotty Hazelton should be fired out of a cannon. That's about as simple as it is. The defense putrid. Peyton Thorne looked pretty good. That was the upside. It wasn't an embarrassing loss like it was against Minnesota, but it's still a loss. Season's over. Doesn't matter what happens anymore. Scotty Hazelton should be.
Let me check in. Ohio State's rolling into town this
Marvin
weekend.
Harrison Jr. is going to put up like 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's going to be tough.
Where are you sitting at your Sparty Dome as the final score right now?
Are you going, number one?
No. God.
Yeah, that's the same question I was going to ask him. Are you going to go see this?
No, not a chance. I don't want to see a murder. I don't want to see a murder in person.
Wow.
Do you got a prediction? Do you think it's going to be...
Score?
Yeah.
Prediction for Ohio State?
How many points are they going to put on the board?
54.
Wow.
54-12.
There's no path to a bowl game.
No.
No path whatsoever.
Not even a little bit.
So what's this mean, low-key, just real quick without getting deep into it? Like, what does this mean for Michigan State, and what do they have to do? Obviously, Mel Tucker's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that recruiting class that they've ballyhooed about, another old guy term, that recruiting class that everybody's talked so much about, better deliver, bro. And better deliver quickly.
And Scotty Hazelton, like I said, should be shot out of a cannon. I mean, he hasn't, speaking of not making adjustments, he hasn't changed the defense at all. It's like, the defense is not working, bud. Like, change something. And no, he still has the corners, 6 yards back at the line of scrimmage. They're still getting toasted. It's like, come on, man. This obviously isn't working. You need to change some things up. There were points in that game where I was like, all right, maybe they can come back into it, man. And then at 3rd and 12, there is a receiver for Maryland with no one within 5 yards of him, 25 yards down the field. I'm like,
now,
okay.
that does happen, but when I saw them live, I thought the pass rush was worse than
pass
the
rush
corners.
was bad, too. Pass rush was very bad.
That was embarrassing. They're like holding him back with one arm, like, hey, where are you going, fella?
That recruiting class better deliver, Spencer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Scotty Hazelton better be executed.
WoodwardSports.com. Chat thread. God says, I don't want to hear about must-wins with the Lions anymore. No, you won't, because it's over. You're 1-3. They have the number 4 pick in the NFL draft, right? If the draft were today, they have the number 4 pick. Through this light schedule, 3 out of 4 at home, this easy part of the schedule, I was told, right? We were told that, right? We were. Well, they're through that right now, and they got the number 4 pick in the draft. Turn it off.
Which didn't I asked earlier? Every team in the league has at least one win, right?
Yes.
Which means you're on pace for that first overall if you take care of business.
I believe Houston does not.
Oh, Houston does not?
Oh, that was my bad.
Yeah.
Houston does not
Houston
have a
has
win.
a tie.
They have a tie. Yep.
But everybody's off the everybody's off the schneid.
Yeah, of losing every game.
They got
No one's going to lose every
percentage
game.
points.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Exactly. Do they get is it 0.50 or something like that? Is that what you get?
Yeah, it's 0.5.
Yeah. So, they have a
I
point
forgot
one.
about the tie. We almost had one yesterday too.
Yeah, 0.125 winning percentage is where that sits. So don't worry, God, we're shutting that down because the season's over, and that's it. I'm sorry, but the must-wins are a thing of the past. They are done. Hey, Sam Flannel, tell me about Mr. Phillips, man.
Mike Phillips, whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest is Michael Phillips' top priority. Being in the game for 23 years makes Mike the #1 option for anyone. If you have real estate needs, call Michael Phillips at 313-403-0011. Again, that is 313-403-0011. This is Big D Energy on Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. As we wrap things up, Lions get destroyed. We talked about Michigan State. Hockey tonight, by the way. I saw somebody earlier in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread saying, you want to hear us talk more hockey. We're going to get there. Like, the season's coming up. Well, you guys know that. We'll do a whole hour on hockey when the season rolls around. We will. But
you can't talk hockey on a Monday, though, after the Lions.
No, you certainly can't. But hockey tonight, LCA, Penguins in town. Starters announced or lineups announced, right?
Oh yeah, lineups announced. Edvardson's in, Sider's in, your boy Zadina, Verana. You can see Dylan Larkin, Berggren's playing. So they got a really good lineup. You got Ville Husso in net. So if you want to go down, they're playing the Pittsburgh Penguins. But I got a lot to we'll get to this week, stuff like that, from being down there for a fantasy camp and spending 3 days around the locker room, talking to a lot of the guys and meeting a lot of the young guys and stuff like this. So headed in the right direction. I firmly believe that Derek Lalonde is the guy for the job. So gotta like what they're doing. So anybody who's down there, I'll be down there doing some Rainbow Connection stuff tonight. So I'll see everybody down at LCA.
Let me ask you, for preseason NHL games, do they make you pay to go in there?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it free for everybody?
No, part of your season tickets, T-Foss. You know that.
Come on, man. They know they add that on to the... Yeah, exactly. It's part of your package.
But certainly it is. Chuck Brewer says Neal's on to now every week is a must-loss.
And you will say that, too.
Well, T-Foss, the second you can't win the hand, what do you do with your cards in poker?
You fold them.
Man, it brought it all back. But that's where we... Spence... Are you shaking your head because you're mad or because you're not accepting the reality?
Both.
Okay.
And I don't want to accept the fact that we're already doing draft talks 5 weeks in.
It's not even Halloween yet, man.
I know, right?
This week of NFL football started in September this weekend, by the way. So I didn't make it this way. I didn't go 1-3, losing games at home, 2 or 3 at home. I didn't do that. Rob J says Michigan did not forget the screw job. It was revenge time. Oh yeah, the Michigan football exhibition season rolled on in their 10-week exhibition schedule. This took us to Iowa, where I did get you guys right. And again, I didn't pick Michigan. I picked against Iowa, and they were on brand. They put up 10. But they ended up with 14 points, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because Michigan gave them that touchdown at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. You knew Michigan was getting in the 20s. It was an easy pick. It was never, ever in doubt, even with Jim Harbaugh and his offensive team calling the plays, which they were a little vanilla there, Sam Flannel.
Well, I have a theory, and maybe we can dig into this deeper tomorrow, but I think Jim Harbaugh is scared of Kinnick, or was scared of Kinnick, because he never won there as a player or a coach. What happened to them in 2016 when Michigan was number 2 and lost in a last-second field goal? But they definitely had a more conservative game plan, to say the least, but it doesn't really matter when Blake Corum is your running back and he's running behind that offensive line. Donovan Edwards, he made a couple of big plays. He had a couple of good carries. He actually caught that big touchdown from J.J. McCarthy, and he got open. I give him a lot of credit for that one. When J.J. McCarthy was rolling out, Donovan Edwards found a hole, and J.J. McCarthy found him. So even though it was conservative, they still jumped out to a 20-0 lead, and the outcome was never in doubt, and they covered the spread. So,
but you know what? Jim Harbaugh must be afraid of Michigan Stadium. He must be afraid of Spartan Stadium. He must be afraid of that erector set at Purdue, too, because this is what he does. He's a conservative coach who wants to run the football. And that's why you guys are, oh, JJ can make all these throws. Yeah, you probably can, but guess who's not going to let him make those throws? Jim Harbaugh.
Hey, that throw to Andrell Anthony, though, my goodness, that was a seed. It was right between the corner and the safety, right in the middle. That I don't think there's a Michigan quarterback in my lifetime, maybe Chad Henne, that could make that throw.
Well, I'm just saying this. So
Terry nailed it. This is the opportunity. We all hear about this kid's ability, and we see it at this time. But is they going to let him out of the cage and be conservative? So it'd be. I'd like to talk about this too, because that could be the apprehension to your coach to not let your quarterback with the talent out of the bag. My question would be, will it get to a point where he's got no choice?
How many stars did JJ get for the Heisman yesterday?
Yeah, did he gain ground or lose ground?
He definitely is not in the Heisman race right now, because even though I thought he played well, I thought he was poised, I thought he was confident.
What about Blake Corum?
What about Blake?
Blake Corum, that wasn't a great performance by any stretch, but it was very good and very workmanlike. The thing I like what I've seen from Blake Corum is he is a number 1 back. He can handle the punishment. He's done it for 2 straight games, and that was something coming into the season I wasn't so sure about.
You're right, Sam, it wasn't like an eye-popping performance, but when you look at his stats at the end of the day, he had like 135 yards and a touchdown still, so it's like...
All right, fellas, you got one Heisman vote, and it has to go to a Michigan player. Who are you giving it to?
Blake Corum.
Yeah.
Blake Corum.
Or Mike Morris, depending on what he does for he ended that game.
JJ's not even leading his own team in the Heisman race.
He misses too many throws for me, man.
That one throw to Roman Wilson, I was watching it live, and I was hoping so bad that he didn't overthrow it, and it just landed outside the outstretched hands of Roman Wilson, who was all alone, wide open in the end zone. That was disappointing, but to counter that, he did make one of those plays to give him a 20-0 lead that J.J. McCarthy can make. And Cade McNamara would have turtled and got sacked. Shea Patterson would have turtled and got sacked. Jake Rudock, Wilton Spate. But no, J.J. McCarthy, when Jack Campbell was coming unblocked on a blitz, avoided it, rolled out, threw a perfect pass to Donovan Edwards for a touchdown. That is why we need a guy like J.J. McCarthy to make plays like that, to completely shut the door on Iowa, because Michigan was settling for field goals before that. They needed a touchdown. J.J. McCarthy made one of those plays that QBs with special abilities make.
On the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Philippines On Demand says JJ's missing a lot of throws. Be careful. Sam Flannel will come after you.
Hey, he is missing throws, bro.
He did miss that one, but
no, he missed more than one.
He missed more than one.
He did not miss a ton this week. Come on. He took what the defense gave him beautifully. I mean, one of his favorite targets right now is turning into Luke Schoonmaker, because it was there all day long. J.J. McCarthy did not try to go outside of the game plan. He was fine.
Big win.
It wasn't a big win, but they did.
No, that's where top 5 teams go to die.
It wasn't a big win, but they did cover. And when you got to play this on your schedule.
Who didn't see that coming? Who didn't see that coming?
That would be you, Neal. Great job. 22-8. That is a phenomenal record, by the way.
70%. Just saying.
Should have quit my job and just bet all of Neal's get rights. Rich man.
Jack Harrington, Go Blue says, careful, too much positivity towards Michigan. Neal's going to pop a bit. Go. We've been through this dance, guys. We've been through this dance. They got an 11-game exhibition schedule. They play one game that matters. Sorry, but you've lost your status, Spence.
Yeah.
Your Michigan State Spartans have lost their status.
What about Penn State?
For sure. They don't matter this year.
Penn State won at Auburn.
Tomorrow, everybody, we are back at it. No, for real, appreciate all you guys. Lots of energy today. Appreciate everybody tapping in to Big D Energy. For D-Mac, for T-Foss, Spenmo Rax, and of course, Sam Flannel. My name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for watching. Well, see you later.
Thanks for pissing off Neal.